Today, we're putting true intelligence under the microscope using the fascinating lens of psychology. We so often think of intelligence as just raw brain power, right? A high test score, or this massive memory bank of trivia. But as we're about to see, psychology paints a very different, much more dynamic picture. So, what are the hidden habits actually holding our minds back? Let's find out.
Part 1. Rethinking what makes you smart. Intelligence is in the process, not just the facts.
Okay, let's dive into this, because rethinking what makes you smart is step 1 to actually expanding your mind. Psychology suggests that being smart isn't measured only by the information you know. It's an active process. It's really revealed through how you react to brand new ideas and whether you're genuinely willing to challenge your own deeply held beliefs. Ironically, one of the clearest signs of low intelligence is assuming you've already figured everything out. I mean, think about that paradox for a second. Believing you have it all completely figured out is actually a massive red flag. It sets the stage perfectly for the hidden pitfalls we're exploring today.
Part 2. The trap of total certainty. Why always being right is a wrong move.
This brings us to our first sign, overconfidence bias. This happens when just a little bit of limited knowledge creates a totally false sense of certainty. We all know someone exactly like this, right? Maybe they read a single headline or watch one short video, and suddenly, boom, they feel like an absolute expert on a highly complex global issue. Truly intelligent people, on the other hand, constantly question their own conclusions. They second-guess, they analyze, they wonder if they missed a crucial detail. If you almost never doubt yourself, there's a very good chance you are completely overlooking something vital.
And this brilliantly illustrates our second psychological sign, refusing to change your opinion. We so often see people clinging to their opinions purely for pride, or honestly simply to win a debate. It just becomes an ego defense. But the truly intelligent habit is adjusting your beliefs when convincing new evidence actually appears. Intelligent people adapt to new data. They don't just blindly fight it.
We really need to remember that changing your mind is not a weakness, it's a profound sign of growth. Rigid thinking absolutely prevents improvement. If you lock into your opinions just to protect your ego, your thinking solidifies. It's literally like pouring concrete right over your own potential. When your thinking is rigid, you stop growing entirely. You're effectively putting a low ceiling on your own intellect, ensuring you never rise above where you currently stand.
Part 3. Shallow thinking and lost curiosity. The danger of simple answers and stopping the search.
All right, here's our third sign. Listen to absolute words in conversation. Words like always, never, or someone simply shrugging and saying, well, it's obvious. Look, life is rarely just black or white. Yet some people consistently make complicated topics seem overly simple by relying on these absolute statements. Psychology suggests this reflects shallow thinking. Genuine intelligence recognizes that most situations have deep layers and subtle nuances, rather than just reducing a highly complex reality down to a convenient, absolute soundbite.
This brings up our fourth sign, rarely asking questions. There is a stark difference between a mindset that believes it simply knows enough and one that is constantly asking why or how. Think about it. People who don't ask those vital, probing questions often remain permanently stuck with a very surface-level understanding of the world around them. They accept things at face value and just never dig deeper.
So the crucial point is, curiosity keeps the brain learning and expanding. Curiosity is actually one of the strongest traits linked to intelligence by psychologists. It's the literal engine of the mind. The very moment you believe you know enough, that engine shuts off, and your learning begins to slow down. Keeping that genuine curiosity alive is exactly what keeps your intelligence sharp and expansive over time.
Part 4. The blame game. The ultimate barrier to personal growth.
This introduces our fifth and final sign of low intelligence, constantly placing responsibility on others for your own problems. To understand why blaming others is so limiting, we have to look at metacognition. That's the ability to reflect on your own thoughts and actions. Psychology deeply connects intelligence with metacognition. It's like having an internal mental mirror. If you constantly blame outside circumstances without ever taking the time to look in that mirror and examine your own choices, you completely miss the opportunity to grow. You surrender your power to change.
Part 5. The true measure of intelligence. Moving beyond looking smart.
Let's move to and see how this builds together, because we have to recognize that true intelligence isn't about appearing clever to the people around us. It is truly about thinking critically, adapting when needed, and remaining completely open to questioning yourself. We can clearly see the 5 habits that limit our thinking here:
overconfidence, stubbornness, oversimplifying problems, losing curiosity, and constantly blaming others. These habits don't just hold back your outward success, they fundamentally limit the way your brain processes information. And remember, sometimes the absolute strongest sign of low intelligence is simply never realizing it's even there.
I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Which of these habits do you actually notice in yourself? I encourage you to be entirely honest here. Take a moment today to reflect deeply on your own psychological habits and triggers. Recognizing them is the very first step toward true intellectual growth. If you had to pick one habit to break today to expand your mind, which one would it be? Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. Keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.